Buy a laundromat, they say, and the money just falls into the machines forever. That's the pitch every passive income video makes. But here's the strange part. Starting a small business in America is basically a coin flip. About half don't make it to year 5. Laundromats blow that number away. And yet, the owners who actually try to make this business passive are the ones who quietly lose money on it for years without ever noticing. By the end of this video, you'll know why laundromats are one of the safest bets in small business, why the machine that looks the least important is actually your top earner, and why the same bill that guarantees your income can just as easily wipe out your entire profit. Laundromats come in 3 sizes. A small store buying into an existing laundromat with older machines runs $50,000 to $200,000. One owner in Cincinnati, Dave Menz, bought his first store off Craigslist for $85,000. It was losing money when he got it. A mid-size, brand new build runs $200,000 to $500,000, covering plumbing, wiring, and dozens of commercial machines. A large, full-service store with wash and fold and delivery built in can run past $1 million. 3 laundromats in Buffalo, New York once sold together for nearly $9.2 million. Add it all up, and America's roughly 30,000 laundromats bring in about $5 billion a year, quietly, without anyone throwing them a parade. But the building is never the whole story. In one California town, government impact fees alone pushed a new laundromat's cost past $800,000 before a single washer was installed. You'll also need a business license, a health permit for your water, a fire permit for your dryers, since built-up lint is one of the most common causes of commercial fires, and in some cities, an environmental permit just for what goes down your drain. Most owners also sign leases of 10 to 20 years because the plumbing and wiring cost too much to walk away from early. This was never a business you could quietly test for 6 months. So, where does the profit actually come from? Every load of laundry costs you something real. Water, gas to heat that water, and electricity to run the machine. Electricity is usually the biggest slice of that bill, with water and gas splitting much of the rest. Altogether, it usually eats 15 to 20 cents of every dollar a customer pays you. The rest, after rent and repairs, is yours. Here's the easiest way to picture it. If a wash costs you $1.50 in water and gas, and you charge $5 for it, you keep $3.50 every single time that machine spins. Do that a few hundred times a day, every day, for years, and that small gap becomes your entire business. But that gap isn't fixed. Run a store making $30,000 a year with old, inefficient machines, and your utility bill alone can eat up to double what you take home, turning a real business into a real loss. Run the same store with modern, efficient machines instead, and utilities shrink to 15% of revenue. Same building, same customers. The only difference is how well you manage that one number. Here's the surprising part. You'd guess the dryer, the machine burning all that expensive gas, makes the most money. It doesn't. The washer does, earning $1,000 to $2,000 a month, almost double what a dryer brings in. Why? Because every customer has to wash their clothes. Not everyone uses your dryer. Plenty just take wet clothes home to air dry. The machine people think of as just the first step is actually the star of the store, which is why the smartest owners fill their stores with more washers than dryers, not the other way around. The rest of the building is built to keep you there a little longer. Comfortable seating, free Wi-Fi, a vending machine, a TV. None of that is charity. The longer you wait, the more likely you are to buy a snack, add a load, or sign up for the wash and fold counter instead of doing it yourself. And every one of those extra dollars has nothing to do with the machines themselves. Stores that switch from coin slots to card readers and apps see customers spend 17 to 22% more because paying with a tap feels smaller than watching your coins disappear. Most of your neighborhood only has one laundromat they'll ever use. 87% of customers live within a mile of it. That's why drop-off and pick-up customers matter so much. Dave Menz's delivery service, Happy Nest, brought in $462,000 in a single year, almost a third of his total business, from customers who never touch one of his machines. They come back every single week, and they pay far more per visit than someone feeding quarters into a slot, because they're paying to get their time back, not just clean clothes. So here's the whole business in one sentence. Price per load multiplied by how many loads each machine runs a day, multiplied by how many machines you own, multiplied by how often the same people walk back through your door. So, if the math is this reliable, why does anyone ever lose money on a laundromat? Because reliable isn't the same as automatic. Rent usually eats about 9% of your revenue. Utilities take 20 to 30% more if your machines are old. Repairs run 15 to 20% of your operating costs, and a single service call can cost up to $500. Add it all up, and a well-run store keeps 20 to 35 cents of every dollar. A poorly run one can keep nothing at all. Two mistakes account for almost every laundry business that fails. Mistake 1, chasing speed instead of margin. In 2013, a startup called Washio launched with a simple pitch, the Uber for laundry. Pick up your dirty clothes, wash them, and bring them back clean in 24 hours, all through an app. Investors loved it, pouring in nearly $17 million. But close to 60% of every order went straight to paying someone else to actually wash the clothes, on top of drivers, vehicles, and a $5.99 delivery fee that never covered the real cost. Washio grew to 7 cities in 3 years and still ran out of road. It shut down in 2016, and its assets were bought by a competitor days later. Proof the idea wasn't crazy, just the economics of doing it Washio's way. Convenience isn't a business model if it loses money on every single order. Mistake 2, growing through debt instead of cash. A company called CoinMac spent the 1990s buying up smaller laundry route operators across the country, financing it almost entirely with borrowed money. By then, CoinMac was already a real profitable business, servicing tens of thousands of machines in thousands of apartment buildings. But its debt grew 8 times over, from about $42 million to $345 million in just 3 years, and it eventually became a $200 million a year public company carrying far too much of that debt. The machines kept running fine the whole time. Apartment buildings always need clean laundry. It was the interest on all that borrowed money that nearly broke the company. And when the financial crisis hit a few years later, CoinMac couldn't keep up with its own debt payments. The laundry never stopped. The debt did the damage. Zoom out, and the whole industry is a strange kind of paradox. About half of small businesses in America don't make it to their 5th year. Laundromats survive at 90 to 95% over that same stretch, one of the best odds of any small business you can start. But ask any real owner, and they'll tell you the same thing. This is not passive income. The stores that get treated like a slot machine, ignored, unmaintained, left to run on autopilot, are the ones that quietly bleed cash for years before anyone notices, right up until the lease that seemed like a formality is the reason they can't just walk away. So what does this look like in real dollars? Buy a small existing store for around $85,000 and you might bring in close to $120,000 a year with around $30,000 in real profit, paid back in under 3 years. Build a larger full-service store from scratch for around $600,000 and you're looking at closer to $500,000 a year in revenue with $70,000 to $80,000 in profit in year 1 alone. climbing fast after that as repeat customers build up. And if you stick with it, this boring business can genuinely change your life. Dave Menn started with a net worth of $50,000 and a laundromat that was losing money. 8 years later, his net worth passed $1.9 million, spread across 4 stores, around 40 employees, and that pickup and delivery service doing over $1 million a year combined. He liked the business so much, he now writes and coaches other owners on how to do the same. So, if you're going to buy a laundromat, remember this. Every quarter that drops into that machine is paying somebody's mortgage. Make sure it's yours.